All right, guys, as I was telling you, I was going to have an interview with Beau. This is Beau, Alex's filmer. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Beau.
My name is Beau Maples. I live not too far from here, about an hour and a half away in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. I've been working with Alex for just under a year now, about 11 months. Known him for years before that, right when he started like popping off and becoming who he is today and having the influence he is today. So, yeah.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of people don't get to understand a filmer because people think of you, Beau, just a filmer. You're just a guy with a camera to them. In reality, there's a lot that goes into this, right? So what I'm wondering here is has there been a time where like Alex was stuck or frustrated in the sense of the middle of you filming or something happened and you had to like kind of check him or tell him like, yo, snap out of it, let's do it?
Yeah, no, that's actually facts. I'm glad you say that because like I will say, you know, not to be any bias or anything, but like the guys behind the scene that are making a lot of the content. Now, granted, Alex does a lot of stuff himself. That's why he popped off. That's how he started, is doing everything himself. So he's definitely like, as far as somebody, he can work solo for sure. But having the extra help of a videographer, photographer, whatever, definitely comes in clutch and like gets things done that he wouldn't usually get done, I guess. Yeah. But there has been times that I've worked with Alex. It's like, he doesn't want to finish this video, or like you can tell he's getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, no, bro, like we still got to do an outro, we got to film this, like I'm missing this aspect, you know what I mean? To where I kind of have to like get him up, let's lock it in, let's finish this up, like so I'm happy, like I know I'm putting out a good product for him and representing him well, you know what I mean? Because then if he's not getting represented well and getting the views and having a complete story, then there's no need for somebody like me. So 100%. It's like not only am I there to take the videos, take the photos, and or edit them or whatever, but it's also my job at the same time to make sure that everything comes full circle in the story of what's going on. So it is like a consistent thing, and it's like not everybody can do it either. Like 100%. There's lots of photographers, creators, creatives, whatever, that like can take good shots and good videos, whatever, but it's like, you know, it takes definitely like a different level of like skill and like something within yourself to be able to know how to like tell a story.
Gotcha. No, that's well said.
And making sure things get done.
100%.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the moment and like long tired day, you know what I mean? Whatever. So.
That's awesome. Now, I feel like something that a lot of people don't understand, and even myself, is how long did it take you to figure out what to record, when to record? Because obviously, like, anybody could just start recording, or what they think is a moment. Yeah. Is it based off of what Alex tells you? Do you just record and be like, this is what I got? What's the process of that like?
So it kind of goes back to the topic of like, I feel like being creative, like you're either like born with it or you're not, you know what I mean? Like, and another big aspect of it too is like, I've been watching YouTubers and stuff like that since I was literally like 8 years old. For me, it started with watching FaZe Clan when I was young.
Nice.
Those guys, bro, like back in the day, Call of Duty YouTubers and bloggers, like that's what made me like want to strive for more in life. So I've been watching stuff literally since I was that young. Nice. And like learning how to tell a story. Like I was always like not so interested in exactly what they're making, but like how are they doing so good at this?
Yeah.
And like I started taking notes about it and like why is this like bringing me so much fulfillment? I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's like a science behind it. Like I'm getting to know these guys like you know, through the camera, through the videos and whatever they do, right? So it's like I've never really had to have any direction or somebody tell me like, hey, I need this shot, or we need to talk about this.
Nice.
Like it was like I was always one step ahead.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and again, like I'm blessed by that because like it comes natural to me, whereas like I know so many people it doesn't come natural.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's easier for somebody like me than most people,
I
guess.
100%. So. That's good. Do you ever give Alex like video ideas, or like has there ever been a few that have been put out because of the idea that you presented to him?
That's definitely happened before, especially like with super quick spontaneous stuff like Snapchat. Like a lot of people don't really think of Snapchat these days as like a main source of like content, but it really is like these days, like the last couple months especially.
Really?
Because you could pull out your phone, take a Snapchat super quick, and like not a lot of people know this, but like Snapchats can go viral in a sense. You know what I mean? Like you put out a good Snapchat that gets good views, gets people to watch it all the way through, and then the rest of your stories, like for that day or for like that few day period, are going to be boosted, right? It's like when you get a TikTok to go viral, your account stays hot for a while. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like that video is one and done good, right?
Yeah.
Then video you post like later that day or the next day can also do like better than it usually would, if that makes any sense.
It does,
You know what I mean? So I've definitely like again, Alex is great. He has his own ideas. That's what separates him from a lot of other creators or influencers. Is like Alex is really good at doing shit himself.
Nice.
But I have definitely been there a bunch of times where it's like, okay, let's do this. I had this idea because, you know, I was also, you know, I still am, right? But like, I used to be a huge Alex Eubanks fan, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm just, it's cool. It's like a dream come true that I get to work with him. But like, I was also a huge fan of him at one point too, just like most people that have never met him. So like, I know what I would want to see from Alex, which gives me like, I can kind of play both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? Like I know how it looks from a viewer and from behind the scenes as well.
So how long have you been doing this, Beau?
I've been doing like camera work and creative work since I was like 15 years old.
Wow.
I started my own business when I was 15 years old. I started a outdoor like hunting apparel company. Nice. And through that, I had to get my own content somehow. You know what I mean? So I got like a cheap camera.
Yep.
Like,
what camera was it?
It was a Nikon D3100. Those things are like $200, bro.
Like back in that was at the time they were 200.
Yes, back at the time. So like I don't even know what it is now. You probably get it for free at Goodwill. You know what I mean? Like.
That's funny.
And I just started trying to use it. Like the camera I had, it would record, like I think the best video it did was 720, 30 frames a second, and it didn't do audio. Like
no audio?
It didn't do
That's
audio.
crazy.
You had to buy like a mic, like an external mic.
Yeah.
You know? So like, whereas like cameras these days, you usually use an external mic, but like at least the camera can record its own audio too, even without a mic.
Yeah.
So I started making videos in the woods, hunting, killing deer, turkey, getting ready, like tutorials on like how to use different pieces of hunting equipment, and I kind of blew up in that space a little bit. And then I just honestly realized there's not really much money in the hunting industry. You know what I mean? Because everybody spends their money in the hunting industry because it's a hobby. You know what I mean? So. But no, I've been doing this ever since then. And then once I started my weight loss phase, due to the inspiration of following Alex on TikTok,
what'd you start
a long time ago. I started working out for the first time, like consistently and stuff, like like sports conditioning related. Literally the fall of 2019, like when I saw, it was Alex's second video he ever posted. And I saw his video, I was like, damn bro, this guy looks good, like and he's natural, like it was making me like, it motivated me to start working out and like look, you know, how I always wanted to look, you know what I mean? Like I always wanted to see my abs, like I was always overweight as a kid, like skinny fat, like.
Would have never guessed that.
Yeah bro, dude, it was like, I was never like, super obese, I would say, except for like one point, you know, but I just it was enough to where like I wouldn't really want to take my shirt off at the beach like in front of my friends or like girls, you know. I still would usually, but like it definitely like hurt me on the inside. I would starve myself like if I knew I was going,
it was that bad,
to the beach. Yes. Wow. Yeah, like, or if it's like a pool party or whatever, like I would literally like not eat or like try to only eat salad like if I knew I was going somewhere and had to take my shirt off, you know what I mean? Like, so
how do you, I feel like something that is real big deal is balancing your own life and then being a filmer, being Alex's filmer. Because I feel like in an ignorant aspect of life, people would like look at you and be like, well, how much time does that really take? Or even friends or family, like, do you really need to go on this trip? Do you really, like, can't he just get someone else? Or can't he record it himself, per se? Like, how do you balance being able to, like, be so hyper-focused on work but still making time to live your normal life?
So that's a big one. I will say, again, unbiased, like, doing this work, like, what I do is definitely, like, extremely time-consuming, and nobody really knows that. Because here's the thing. If my job is to film a moment, or like yesterday for the Inner Circle meetup when we were at Universal, okay, say that's 4 or 5 hours that we were at Universal, right? Well, I can tell you that the 4 or 5 hours before being at Universal, I was having to what? Pack my bag, prepare, think about what to film, make sure that the content was fresh and not going to be stale, make sure that like I was ordering everybody around to get the shots I need, the content I need. So now it's like, now it's 4 hours before the trip and then 4 hours during the trip. But now it gets better, and now I got to spend 4 more hours after the trip editing it all out, getting it out. Then it's sending it out to the people that were here. You know what I mean? So like, if say I filmed something or did photos for something that was, you know, even for 2 hours. Well, I prepared for 2 hours before, and then I'm editing it 2 hours after. And then usually you spend even more time after that making sure it gets posted out to the right people. You know what I mean?
You're almost as active as they are with their socials, but even more.
Yeah, more, definitely. Because Alex's job is just to show up during that 2 hour period.
100%.
He doesn't have to worry about the prep for it. He doesn't have to worry about like getting, you know, he does a lot of his own posts, you know. Like he has a team built around him now that does certain things for him. But like maybe for somebody not as prestigious as Alex, you know, it's definitely like I guess, a little bit easier for
Yeah.
them.
That's a side that people don't know about. No one would know that it takes you that much time to prepare, edit, do that. It literally takes up your whole day.
Oh, especially if you want to be good at it or the best.
Yeah, and I think, like, aside, I know now, like, you know, you're making money off it, doing the thing, but there was a time where you weren't making money doing this.
Facts.
So I can only imagine, like, being able to have that drive. You're editing all day. You're taking 12 hours a day. And most people, they have it mixed up in life where they think that because what you're doing isn't money, that it's not work and it's not productive.
100%.
But when you're sitting there all day.
The first job I ever did for Alex, it was a completely free 3-day weekend of filming in Columbus, Ohio at the Arnold. Completely free.
Wow.
Because I wanted to earn my stripes with him. You know
That's
what
smart.
I mean? I will say that was probably the hardest. It was the first job I did for Alex was early 2024. I did it for free. But the whole year of 2023, I basically worked for free for people all year because I was earning my clients, getting the reps in, building a portfolio, you know what I mean? And like doing this type of work, because you can go, you know, Google search or find a bunch of cameramen. Well, how do you know if they're good? How do you know if they're good people? How do you know if like the turnaround times are good?
Right.
It's really hard, and I completely get it. Like from the client perspective, like from somebody like Alex, like how do I know to pick this videographer over this one? Like I kind of need to work with both of them to see. You know what I mean? Because like it's very personality based for the videographer, right? So. That's what I did all of 2023. In the year of 2023, I only made $10,000, and I worked like 60 hours a week.
Wow, man.
And I only made that much money because I worked for free to build my portfolio, get my game up, figure it out, you know what I mean, and earn the clients that were then paying me all throughout 2024.
Nice.
So, but I did that with Alex too, especially because he's so big. Like I wanted to make sure that he felt comfortable with me. I wanted to make sure that I liked him even, you know what I mean? Because
you
like,
never know.
I've met. They say to never meet your heroes, right?
Oh, dude.
I've met so many of my heroes, and I was so disappointed after.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Cam Newton. That was it for me.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I don't even want to name any of mine because I'll get flamed for it. I'll start some shit, but
that's all right.
You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Has there ever been a time where, like, I know, like, majority of filming comes from, like, you know, your hometown area, whatever the case. Has there been a time where you had to take, like, a spontaneous flight last minute, or, like, you caught, like, a drive somewhere to film for Alex? Or film for anyone, per se. It's not even just pertaining to Alex.
Yeah. There's definitely been, like, a few last-minute trips I've had booked and things like that, or, like, cool opportunities that came up last minute. Honestly, working with Alex, that kind of happens a lot because he's so busy and he's a horrible planner that, like, it was the last Inner Circle meetup I was at. Bro, he called me like the day before. He's like, hey, can you come to Orlando for 3 days? I'm like, for anybody else, no, but for you, yeah, I got you.
Nice,
you know what I mean? So it's like, there's not a lot of people I would do that for because a lot of people aren't at the status he is to where like you can understand that.
And that's credibility for you too.
Yes.
Like he definitely acknowledges that. And he definitely takes that in to use that.
And because I value like my relationship with him and all, like that's why I take care of him. Whereas like a lower ticket client or whatever business, like I'm not doing that for. I'm gonna tell them to go F themselves because like it's just that's disrespectful.
100%.
Whereas somebody who you know is like popping and busy and things like that, you have to understand. You know what I mean? And those guys are going to treat, like you said, they're going to treat me right. They're going to acknowledge it because they're smart and they know what they're doing. That's why they're at that level.
Yeah. Have you ever felt, I feel like this is a good one. Have you ever felt that someone was trying to take advantage of you for being a cameraman? Because most people, when they're starting out and they're trying to film, they might just supposedly take whatever they can get. Like if it's like, oh, this guy reached out to me and paid me a couple $100, maybe $1,000 for a film session, like left and right. Usually you would accept it. Has there been times where you're just like, nah, you're just trying to use me?
It's usually one of two things. It's the first thing is they try to get free work out of you, like it's like sample work. Now again, I said a minute ago that I've done a lot of free work. Well, how that should go is I offer it. If I don't offer it, you don't ask me.
Yeah,
you know what
100%.
I mean? So like, there's that. Like people try to ask you to do free work, and it's like no. Like, like I said, I've offered to do free work because I want to earn a spot
from your own offering.
Yes, from my offering. But like, you don't ask me for sample work. It's not how it works. If you're asking me for sample work, then that means you like my work and you're just pro. You know. So, and then the second part of that is like, say you're doing a wedding, right, where you're booked for like 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, and then that time comes and like the wedding's not done yet, or like they still, like you know that there's something about to happen that they want shot, you know, and it's like, well, I'm at the time limit. And they're like, oh, you can't just stay an extra 30 minutes or hour. It's like, I can, but I'm going to charge you more. You know what I mean? Because like now, like, you know, I'm here longer, which means now not only am I there, even if it's just an hour longer, it's not just an hour because like I said earlier, it's really 2 hours because then I got to edit an extra hour worth of stuff. And it multiplies. So everything happens like in a multiplicative process, right? So
All the behind the scenes things, like people just don't see that. What would you say, like I mean, nothing is easy as far as filming goes. That's hands down, angles, what you're doing. I know, let alone holding the camera, being stable is like a
my
very
back
big deal.
is pricked from it.
Dude, my arm gets tired holding my phone. I can only imagine what it's like when you're holding the camera. That being said, what would you consider, like, so Alex's fitness? You know what I'm saying? You say you would do a wedding or whatever. What type of videography have you done that you consider was like more on the difficult end of the spectrum? Or like
I would
for the
say
type of event?
product videography is difficult. Like if you're shooting like a T-shirt on a clothing rack, like
Okay.
how do you get so creative with that? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's one that I like don't ever look forward to. Like it's easy, but it's hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's just probably my opinion. Probably like nobody else will say that, honestly.
Right.
That's product videography. I like product photography because you take a photo.
Right.
Product videography, that sucks. I hate that. And then the second thing is weddings because
Yeah.
people are picky and it's also a lot of pressure. Like, you know, you only get married one time, right?
So it's gotta be perfect.
That's people's
Yeah.
like biggest, like that's what they look forward to their whole life, whatever. So like it needs to be perfect for them. It needs to be perfect for me.
Right.
And it's tedious. You know what I mean? And then like you could have, say a wedding day, right? And like you have this vision and you want all these shots, but then like you pull up to the venue and the lighting's dog shit. You know what I mean? Like something like that. And it's like, bro, like what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah,
Like,
you can only do
I
so
can only
much.
do so good, you know what I mean? Because you booked a shitty venue or whatever, you know? Like
Yeah.
or you know, it's just, you know, it usually just sucks when there's things that are out of my control.
Right.
Because everything I can control, I kill it. You know
Right.
what I mean? But sometimes you're in situations where you can't control everything, and like, you know, you might not be able to put out like your best work because of
Right.
things you can't control.
That's good. Piggybacking off of the things you can and can't control. Has there been a time where, like, because now you're prepared, you got the camera equipment, you got the chargers, the portables, whatever it is you got to plug in. Has there been a time where like you were filming, camera died, or laptop's dead, or some type of electronic issue?
So I've never had like batteries die or anything like that, but the one thing that's happened to me, I think 3 or 4 times now. Luckily, it's never happened on a big shoot, like something super important. It's usually just like reoccurring work. Like, hey, I meet this guy every Tuesday to film something.
Yeah.
Is I'll pull up like 45 minutes away from my house without an SD card. Because like my SD card will be like in my camera bag or in my like laptop bag because I was editing with it and I forget to put it back in my camera bag or something. So I've never like had like a malfunction per se, but SD cards get the best of me every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
So, and it sucks because then it's like, damn, bro, I get paid good to do this, and I pull up without part of my equipment. That's like the biggest, like most embarrassing thing ever.
Yeah.
So
everyone has their form of inspiration, even if it's on the smallest of smallest levels. You don't just wake up one day and go, I think I'll try it.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to be a filmer in photography? What was something you've seen that made you go, I feel like I want to do this?
I think it's because like I knew I have a natural eye for it, because I appreciate like the little things, like when I watch like films or videos or stories come to life. So like that's the main thing. But I would say like going even deeper than that, it's probably like I like to, like my whole thing that I think about, like when I live every day, right? Or like when I have a huge W day, you know what I mean? Like a big day. Like this weekend was a big weekend.
Big W.
You know, the thing I always like comes to my mind for some reason, might sound kind of corny, is like I love like building an empire, if that makes sense.
Hell yeah.
Whether it's like for myself or like with Alex, you know what I mean? Like I love like contributing to like those big ass walls going up, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I would say like that's probably what keeps me rolling, is like the thought of like building a legacy, building an empire, and just being like great. Like that's like I said, that sounds corny, but like
not at all, dude.
Being great, like that's what I think about. Every time something gets hard, every time I'm like, oh, should I do this or not? I'm like, no, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna do it.
That's how you gotta go about it. I feel like we use the term like I peep when we say sayings or like things like, oh, this might be corny. It's because of society, man. Like society makes things that makes us say, oh, just so you know, like this might be corny. Like it's a shame that we have to say that, because as a society, it's just we downplay everything. Like, everyone thinks it's cringe to be like, oh, I'm trying to do this for this, that, and the third. It's like that's kind of cringy. It's like that's why everybody always leads with, oh, this might be kind of corny.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
So, yeah, bro, I appreciate you taking the time to have this interview.
I appreciate you, bro.
It means a lot.
One of my first ever interviews. And
bro, it's a day in the life.
Yeah.
People need to know what it's like to be the cameraman. Not a lot of people get that inside information. You're overlooked, man. And you play one of the most important roles in this entire thing. If you're not there, the moment's not being captured, bro. As I'm sure he can relate, like, and I can relate in my own content because I record for myself. There's only so much as when you're trying to be in the midst of something and like trying to capture a moment. There's only so much you can do with that.
Yeah.
So you play a really big, important role in his life, and in a bigger way than a lot of people don't even know. And that's why I wanted this interview to really get an
That's
idea.
why I
of how
love
it
it,
works.
bro. Because like I'm so big on like taking that picture, taking that video,
Yeah.
being able to relive the memory. Like people take photos so they can relive the moments, but like honestly, bro, like I don't even think about reliving the moment. It's just like I don't go back to pictures or videos to relive the moment.
Yeah.
I just find so much satisfaction in knowing I could if I wanted to.
Yeah, yeah.
So like
That's a
that's
beautiful thing,
my
though.
thing. It makes me feel like I just got more in the bank of life, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense. More of a dialed down kind of question. This is up in the air.
It makes me feel like I can remember everything, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Definitely, bro. Real quick, Beau, so I can let you go. There's a community for everything. Is there a photographer group chat community that you're a part of by chance? Anything random?
You know, I'm gonna be honest with that one. Because there's such a small amount of creatives, is like
Yeah.
what we're called, photographers, videographers. There's such a small amount that there's such a toxic feud between all of them.
Yeah.
In a sense, like, don't get me wrong, you're gonna find your inspirational group chats and guys that try to like bring people together. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so real, bro. Like, you can just feel how like they all just like
Yeah.
compete with each other and want each other's clients and want to work as good as the other and put
Really?
out. Yes, dude. It's honestly like cameraman to cameraman relationship is so toxic.
Wow. I
Because
would have never
you
guessed
know,
that.
you know you're all making different money and
Yep.
like maybe somebody has a better lens than you, so then like you're just like beefing, like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like I'm not like that at all. I love to collab with other people, but like I'm telling you, bro, I've met dozens of other creatives and like somebody's just like always like envying over you,
Right.
and like not in a positive way of like congratulating you, like dope, you worked with Alex. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, like, you know, instead they'll be like, oh yeah, I wish I lived in Florida so I could
Yeah.
work with Alex. And it's like, okay, bro, like why are you stealing my thunder? Like,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
I've heard people downplay. Like I've heard a couple guys like, oh, I don't even watch them. Like their friends will say like, oh, like I'm with Alex, and it's like, I don't even watch them. Like
Yeah.
it's a shame that the way people go about it when you're doing well in life.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy. Bro.
Yes.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Society sucks. I'll let you get out of here, bro. This means a lot, dude.
no,
I needed to
it
get the
means
insight.
a lot to me too.
Hell
bro.
yeah,
I'm
bro.
excited to see
You're a
it.
good dude, bro, and I can tell.
Right back at
And everybody else knows it as well.
you. Right back at you, bro.